Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily tarot and astrology reading for Sunday, August 11th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. Let's go ahead and hop into the transits for today and the cards to see how you can be better prepared to navigate the celestial energies. Well, let's go ahead and get that first card. I have the King of Cups in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. I think today is a day about finding our emotional fortitude. And I think a lot of this has to do, of course, with the moon in Scorpio. The King of Cups in reverse, it can speak to, maybe some sensitivities coming up and maybe getting to us a little bit more than we want them to. Normally the King of Cups is someone who is in touch with their emotions and can use the power of their emotions to still lead and guide people. But when it's in reverse, this is when the king can kind of get in his own way. He can kind of get a little into his emotions, a little too into his feels, even maybe a little psychological, a little bit too, we don't want to be, getting too wishy-washy with things. That's the other thing about the King of Cups energy. This is a wishy-washy ruler that, will say one thing or will, maybe have to cancel plans or not show up to time on things, So just be careful of those sort of things. Our sensitivities can be a little bit heightened. And I think, of course, a lot of that does have to do with the fact that the moon is in Scorpio, which, of course, is its fall position. So let's see what else we have here. We have the Knight of Swords, and that's honestly kind of a weird combination, almost kind of a dangerous combination. When you're emotionally in not necessarily the best place, and then you throw a Knight of Swords on top of it, which is wanting to take some sort of rapid action, something quick, that combination could potentially lead to some weird and auspicious, situations, actions, interactions with other people. We just want to make sure that we're not allowing our emotions to get the best of us today. Because with that Knight of Swords, these are like these quick thoughts that may come through that will just essentially try to have us avoid any level of discomfort by taking some sort of action that we feel is going to get us out of that discomfort. So just be careful of that today. So like I said, astrologically, of course, we do have this moon that is in Scorpio, of course, and it does make some decent aspects today. It does sextile Mercury at the beginning part of the day. Of course, it's like right at midnight, so this is going to happen probably an hour from now that I'm recording this. But, we're going to see, of course, this moon continue its transit throughout Scorpio, pretty much throughout the day. It will make a nice little sextile over to Venus, but these are two fallen planets, so it's like they're not really in the best spot. Remember, the moon would much rather be in Taurus, and Venus would much rather be in Pisces. I think this is how we have to learn how to open up, and we have to open up and find some level of comfort even in uncomfortable situations. We have to be able to open up and see, the possibilities, the reality of the situation that we may be in. The moon of Scorpio is things may get a little bit deep. We may be, looking over our desires, our wants, shared resources, or even just the secrets that we keep. I think this is we have to kind of open up spiritually, especially since this is a 7-degree sextile. And what's interesting too is that this does actually kind of bring up a bit of a yod too. So we have Venus at 7 degrees, we have the moon at 7 degrees, and they are both making a quincunx over to the north node at 7 degrees of Aries. So we do actually get a yod on this day. And that's the thing about it. I think this is about, especially with Aries, this is about having the courage and the bravery to take on situations that may feel a bit uncomfortable emotionally and may also be uncomfortable as far as being able to receive the reality and the facts of what's happening, in our personal lives, on the larger scale of things, in our communities, on a national level and an international level and a spiritual level, because this is 7 degrees, right? It can be a bit weird right now. There's a lot that's going on. And you can just tell when you're talking to people, too. It's a lot of people are, disassociating. They're wanting to just detach from it all. They're wanting to not really talk about it. But Pluto's got to go back into Capricorn. There's still things that we have to address. this yod here, I think, is really once again another. We've been getting a lot of these yods lately too, and they've all been involving the moon, but we've been getting a lot of these yods lately. Sextile over to this north node. This sextile, and then their quincunx to the north node. This is about, like I said, what's the north node in Aries? Very simple. Courage, bravery, take things head on. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to take action. But like I said, with the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords, we still want to make sure that we are analyzing the situation and thinking things through and not just acting on absolute impulse, but there's definitely some sort of purposeful action here that we are considering and not just doing things just because we want to push some sort of boundary with the moon and Scorpio, or because we want to maybe even escape some sort of reality with the Venus and Virgo. We have to learn how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Now, as the day progresses, that yod's going to loosen up. We'll see Venus hit that 8th degree, right? And, the other main thing about today is the fact that we do have this Mars-Jupiter conjunction that is getting tighter and tighter. It's not going to be exact here on Sunday, but it is becoming tighter and tighter. So we can feel that amplification, that energy. And this is in Gemini, right? So this is already, you're bringing 2 fire ruling planets together in Gemini. This is going to cause a bit of an explosion. This is going to bring about some excitement for sure. I think we'll see definitely on Monday and Tuesday as this week progresses, and especially as the moon finishes up in Scorpio, especially as it goes into Sagittarius. We're about to see some very interesting things that transpire this week as this moon, of course, before then, does the 3rd quarter square to the sun. So now, for that final card of the day, I do have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Now, it's interesting that how I got both the King and the Queen reverse here. And it's the Knight that is upright. So, we have to be able to figure out this way of balancing in many ways, even though there's no Libra energy. But we have to figure out a way to balance this masculine water energy and this feminine fire energy. And how can we actually balance these things out? Because if gone unchecked, these can be rather destructive energies. That Knight of Swords has to figure out a way to somehow balance that energy and do it in an efficient way. So that's going to make the energy quite interesting and quite intense. I think this moon in Scorpio is definitely having us to looking deeper and feeling deeper into, okay, what is it that really does matter? This is talking about not necessarily like the physical currency, which is like that Taurus energy, but this is about that emotional, mental, stimulating currency, even psychological currency, and like how that is important in our day-to-day reality. I think it's really coming down to mindset. Your mindset is so important right now, and being able to give yourself the tools to be able to make it through times which are very uncomfortable for all of us is going to be very, very important. Just because of the nature of the energy in the cards, I'm going to draw another one. I do have the Hierophant. It's interesting that I get this card on a Sunday too, because this does give kind of like, like preacher vibes, if you will. The Hierophant usually is like the shows like the Pope or whatever like that and stuff. So, but I think it's about consulting, that guide. It's about consulting your higher self and knowing that, you don't have to necessarily do everything on your own. But, also at the same time, it's like, it's about, I guess they'll say listen to your conscience and stuff like that. But some people listen to their conscious or some people are consciously aware and they do stupid shit. Let's just be real, But I think this is just like, if anything, I think it's just like, be careful who you listen to, but also know that there are answers and you can go out and seek them, whether that Hierophant is a natural preacher or something like that for you, or maybe the Hierophant, it presents itself in the form of a situation. Maybe it presents itself in the form of a friend or a conversation with your parents. Maybe it presents itself in a very weird way. But I think, if anything, especially I think this has to do with the pointing over to the North Node in Aries. There's probably a message that's going to come through for you today that's going to let you know just how strong you are and just how you can make it through an uncomfortable situation that you may find yourself in. But I think it's about being open to receiving that message today and realizing that it may not necessarily come in the most obvious way. I think it may come in a bit of an awkward way. It's value that quincunx, but it's going to come in the way that it needs to come. And because it's Aries, even though it may not seem obvious, it's going to be kind of obvious after you think about it. So just be on the lookout for that. Now, color card, I have the card of blue. Activate your healing power. I think this is a day of healing. I think this is a day of healing. I would say the divine masculine and divine feminine energy, it's going to be, coming, it's going to be like one of those days of healing it. I don't know, I'm just getting like this image of like the populace kind of getting blasted with healing energy, if you will, and aspects of the divine masculine and the divine feminine are getting healed. And maybe that's why the moon in Scorpio is going to feel so weird, because it is Scorpio energy very much so is like, yeah, Virgo does rule like health and stuff, but Scorpio is very much so like, it's a bit more intimate, it's a bit more invasive. It's like surgery, if you will. It's the surgery, it's the surgeon, it's going under the knife, it's doing all those sort of things to sort of transform a situation. So it's like, this is a day I feel like with this moon in Scorpio finishing, like going, like, well, not finishing up, but making these aspects and being a part of this yacht. There, we are going through a bit of like an emotional, spiritual surgery today. So if you feel weird at all at any point, or if it's just, maybe the anesthesia is like wearing off or something like that, or you maybe feel like you're in a bit of a daze or something like that, or if you're feeling a bit tired as well, I think that could be another thing with the King of Cups in reverse and Queen of Wands in reverse, is that you could be tired. So make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. But I still feel like there's still going to be some sort of message that comes through today for you that's going to let you know how to move forward, because this week coming up, I think is going to be probably one of the more shocking weeks that we are going to see in like a while. And this is just the beginning. We're still in Act 1 in Leo season, but I just have a gut feeling that this week we're going to see some crazy shit. So that's going to do it for your daily reading. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, I'd appreciate it. If you like this video, share it with your friends or people that you feel like this video would help them. And of course, these videos are for all signs. It is a generic one for the whole public, so if it resonates with you, cool. If it doesn't, that's awesome. That's okay. I have plenty of videos here. Check those out. Be sure to subscribe. But y'all take care. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you all on the next Daily Tarot and Astrology reading. Peace.